Hi guys. This is gonna be rather a quick video, I guess. Sorry about the noise. It's my air conditioner. When you have MS, you have to have an air conditioner running pretty much all the time. Um, I did a long video recently, but it was so long and I didn't feel like uploading it, and I just didn't like how it was anyway. It it's hard to put into words all the stuff that's going on, and it seems like every day there's something else. There would be like one thing, and I'll say, "Oh, I can't believe I have this other symptom or whatever that I have to deal with." Then maybe the next day, a couple of days, a week at least, it is just piling on. Like last night, I went to get up from my computer chair, and it doesn't have arms, so I had to push up on the table, and the way that when you stand up and you have to use your legs when you don't have the muscle capacity or whatever to stand up easily like I used to, it puts a lot of strain on my knees. Now, years ago, 2, 3 years ago, I had a problem with my knee where I was trying to move something while I was kneeling on the floor. And it was in so much pain, but they didn't find anything in the x ray. And then they said, just go to physical therapy or whatever. Well, I didn't do that. And eventually it started to get better, but I still have trouble with it. Well, from getting up from the table or from the chair at the computer, my right knee, which was the good knee, is now hurting really bad. So if I bend it or try to walk up the stairs, it's just too much. It hurts too bad. So getting on and off the toilet isn't very fun. So aside from that, it used to be my left side was my bad side, and my left hand and my right, my left leg and foot. There was barely anything wrong with my right side. My right hand is just a little bit numb, but it's still okay. My right foot and leg, both of my legs now are the same pretty much. I'd say my left leg is probably about, I'd say 100% bad. It has been, but my right leg was always about 10 or 20% bad. Now it's pretty much 90%. So it's not quite as bad as my left side. Now, the numbness goes all the way up to like below my stomach and my lower back. And the one good thing is that when I do my shots, it doesn't hurt as much because there's not as much um, feeling as there was before. So it kind of like cushions it a little bit. Or shall I tell myself that way? I feel a little better when I give myself the shots. Um, I've also started having breathing problems if I stress too much or if I stand too long, if I bend down if I have to bend over to try and pick something up. Say try. It's it takes so much out of me. It's not even so much the heat when I'm outside. It's the walking when I have to lift my legs and struggle to walk up the sidewalk or whatever. And I have a double chin sitting like this. But the strain is just it knocks the wind out of me. And I don't really think it's an MS hug, but there is times where I get the tightness in my chest, but I know that there are people that get it really bad. But this is just more like I'm hyperventilating, I'm breathing really heavy and hard and deep trying to get my breath. And I can't talk, I can't my mom will say something to me and I can't understand what she's saying. I can't focus on words while I'm trying to catch my breath and not fall over or fall out of the chair or something. I sit down. It's the fatigue has gotten so much. Like I thought I was tired before, but now it's just completely just getting up. I have to sit down and rest from room to room, and it's just so hard because every day it just keeps getting worse and it's not getting any better. I have bad days and I have even more bad days. There's never a good day anymore. It's depressing. My doctor had put me on Lexapro. I was on that for about 3 months, and my other doctor took me off because it wasn't doing anything at all. When I first started taking it, it made me so slow. I was slurring my words. It was like I was half asleep trying to talk. That lasted for about 7 days, and I had to pee like every 5 minutes right after I took it for like an hour or two after taking it. It was annoying, but then that went away. My last appointment was in July, and my neurologist said that it seems that I've gone from relapsing-remitting to secondary progressive, which means there are less options. And she wanted to put me on the infusions. Is it Ocrevus? Ocrevus? Well, you know what it means if you're on it, you know it. But the side effect or the risk of like breast cancer and stuff isn't something I really want. I mean, if I already have this many problems and I know that I have so many side effects from just the glatiramer acetate or Capaxone, that I don't want to have more illnesses on top of what I have. And the way my luck is, and when I have a problem, I get side effects from when I'm taking. That's why I hardly take any medicine. I don't take a lot of stuff because I don't want to have the fear of getting the side effects and something else on top of what I have. I think I just said all that twice. But yeah, so I went from a year ago walking on my own to walking with a cane. Now when I go shopping, I have to use a scooter. Sometimes I'll have a wheelchair I can use. I'm working on getting a wheelchair to keep in the car so I can use that, but it's the cane was bad enough, and I refused to use a walker for some reason. But I guess the wheelchair is a little better than a walker in my mind. But it's like I feel like when people look at me, they'll say, "Oh, well, she looks young enough. Why does she need a cane? Why does she need a wheelchair? Why does she need a scooter?" And usually nobody says anything, or they're asked, "How are you?" or "How are you doing?" But they don't really want to say what's wrong. And I don't want to tell everybody that I have MS. I mean, I have a Facebook account, and it's mostly family, and I haven't told the majority of people because, on one hand, I don't think they're gonna. It's like if they don't say anything, I feel like they don't care or they don't know what to say, but it will make me feel more of an outcast if nobody says anything about it. But I don't want to put them on the spot and make them have to feel bad for me or have to say something like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." But I kind of want to tell people so that way I can start maybe getting awareness more out there in my family. And it just seems like, when how you say, "Oh, I had a bad day, my legs were not working very well," or "I was really tired or fatigued," and somebody will say, "Oh, I felt that same way, I feel like that a lot too." It's not the same thing. It's that thing where everybody says in the MS community, if sorry, if you or you don't get it until you get it. And I didn't really understand that until recently. But everybody's different, and there are so many people that have MS that you wouldn't know they had it if you didn't know, if that makes sense. So if somebody doesn't say they have it and they look completely normal, you wouldn't even know. I, on the other hand, am just, you can tell there's something wrong with me, and I think that might be the worst part about it, is people thinking like, "Oh, what's wrong with her, and why does she look like that, why is she walking that way?" And I guess it'd be easier if I just wore a shirt that says I have MS, and that's why I look like this or whatever. It would break the ice. But it's the big thing that really depresses me is the fact that my mom is almost 70 and she has to take care of me. She has to, help me out, and I'm constantly having mood swings and yelling about stuff or complaining about things because I can't do stuff I used to do anymore. I used to be able to rearrange my room and move all this heavy stuff. I used to be able to help her out and do stuff, and I can't. I can't sit down and bend over anymore because it wears me out. I can't stand too long. I have to have her get out my stuff, put it on the table so I can sit down and make a sandwich for myself. It's just too draining to even get the stuff out half the time. And this isn't how she should be living her life. I should be helping her with everything, and that's the really hard part. And then I get upset because I can't help her as much as she needs me to do stuff, and I can't step up and do that. So it's like my body is turned against me and I can't do anything about it, and it won't stop. It gets worse constantly. And not to be rude or insensitive to people who don't have legs, but sometimes I just feel like I just want to cut my legs off because it would stop the pain, the numbness, the coldness, the heat, the itching, the spasms that go into my back and hurt my back so bad. And it just seems like maybe it might be a lot lighter, and it would just be like half of me, half the problems would be gone, but then, I couldn't walk around. So I am very thankful that I can still stand and I can still walk somewhat. So I wouldn't really do something like that. But I mean, sometimes I see somebody out and they have a prosthetic leg and they're walking like they're so perfect at it. They really went through losing a leg and they've managed to cope with it. And why can't I cope with what I have? And I know that it wouldn't be easier to lose a leg, but sometimes it just feels like my legs aren't my own, and it's depressing and it hurts. And pushing myself up all the time with my hands and my arms, my joints hurt, my hands hurt, my muscles, my bones feel like they hurt. So, I mean, people keep saying, well, join a support group. And I said, that might help, but I can't. My doctor wanted me to go to therapy and is talking about it and learning about other people, what they're going through that could be worse than what I'm going through. It would make me feel worse, I think. So I guess I'm just kind of afraid about that. So I guess it's supposed to be short, but it's pretty much longer than the last one, or as long, I don't know. So I'll just sign off now. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Where's that at? Here. The tape on my wall is falling apart. It's like a seam where I painted it, and it keeps falling down because it's so hot up here sometimes. Okay, so I'm sorry about my appearance. My hair, I shaved it all off because it was cooler when I went outside, not appearance-wise. And I look so fat. I did gain weight because I can't exercise. Oh, and we're moving my room. My mom changed her room to the spare room, and I'm going to have her old room because it's bigger, and I got a new bed frame, and I'm going to get a new bed and eventually move some of my stuff, computer and all, downstairs. So I'll be closer to the bathroom and I'll be on the same floor, so I won't have to go up and downstairs. So I'm losing my independence of my room upstairs, but I guess anything to be closer to the bathroom. Okay, thanks for watching. Go ahead and leave me negative comments or negative thumbs down or something, because people seem to like to do that and stress me out. Okay, bye, thanks for watching.